Get ready. 9 minutes left.
What could have possibly made Luka Doncic react in this way? Well, as you're about to see, Mo Wagner disrespected the sport of basketball and himself in the weirdest way possible.
Strong drive there by Suggs and a score for the rookie from Gonzaga.
All of this is strange. Why is Mo screaming "and one" at someone else's basket when down by 20 points? Why is he walking away so sad? What did Luka Doncic do to this man's head? Well, the thing is, Luka has been doing this.
Bowman comes away with it. Oh, behind the play, you got something going on. This isn't good.
And Doncic getting into it here. Look out now. Hey, this is preseason, guys.
50% now for the Mavericks. Oh, a hard foul by Morris. And Doncic up. He wants to go back at him.
So what's up, guys? Mike here, and I have a question for you and for myself. Has Luka Doncic decided that this type of competitive fire is needed to win an NBA championship after taking a few years of disappointing playoff losses? And with that in mind, right now, is Luka's extreme personality actually having the reverse effect on the losing record 9-10 Dallas Mavericks? Which really makes you wonder, should we really appreciate Luka Doncic on the same level as a young LeBron James and Michael Jordan? Let's throw that big question out there right now, because in terms of individual success, Luka has earned that question. You may already know that to start the season, Luka became the last player in the last 60 seasons to put up at least 30 points in his first 9 games. The last player to do that was Wilt Chamberlain. And going even further, let's talk overall stats here. Luka for this season as a whole is on an absolutely historic pace again. In NBA history, just 3 players ever so far have averaged at least 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game in a season. Those 3 men are Russell Westbrook, Michael Jordan, and Oscar Robertson. Luka Doncic is, of course, on this current pace, and he's only getting better. Luka is averaging a career best 1.7 steals a game, a career best 11 free throw attempts a night, and a career best 33.1 points per game while shooting over 50% from the field. And get this, the man is only shooting 30% from 3 right now. We all know he's gonna find his shot. What's important is that almost every advanced stat right now that is on paper says that Luka Doncic is having the best season he has ever had. However, the Dallas Mavericks have a losing record. What is going wrong? Because at the end of the day, you're not an actual legend type player in the NBA if you are not a champion and really consistently a championship level player. I'm talking about a player who is constantly raising the level of his teams. A player who could take a lottery team and make them a playoff team. A player who could take a playoff team and make them a title contender. Do we think the Dallas Mavericks are more a lottery team without Luka than playoff team? Probably. But to be fair, we have seen legends overcome stuff like this in the past. We have for sure seen a young LeBron James overcome this. However, if we look at Russell Westbrook or James Harden, those 2 players were certainly young stars in their own right who were also MVPs in their career, but now looking back, of course, no one would choose them over a LeBron type to start, and one indication of where we can find a big sign of things to come in a young, future championship winning star's career comes in both a player's VORP and BPM during their first 4 seasons, looking at a young player's first 4 seasons, and then looking at their value over the typical replacement player in those 4 seasons, and his box score plus minus. Those things do indicate that a young player is ready to come in and be a complete game changer. Not just a rookie of the year candidate, a guy that can immediately bring you to a high level in the playoffs. We certainly saw that with Luka last season. Taking down the Phoenix Suns was incredible in its own right, which is where I want to get into the mental aspect of all of this. But before we continue, guys, I want to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. Now, have you ever had a situation where you were in a car accident or a friend was hurt and you did not get what you felt you were entitled to? Did you think about suing in that situation, and why or why not? Also, if there were some, how expensive were the medical bills? Car accidents in the United States are very, very common. In 2020, there were over 5 million car accidents in the United States. That is over 600 car accidents an hour. That is a shocking number, and injuries do come of these accidents. That is the reality of the situation. But did you know that you could sue in an accident to be made whole? Did you know that you're not suing the person who hit you, but you're suing their insurance company? Not everyone does, and there have been times where I've talked to my family, and I know they haven't really been sure what to do because they they just simply didn't have the knowledge. So if you are ever injured in an accident, you can go check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For even more information, go to forthepeople.com/Corzembo or dial #LAW, that is #529, from your cell phone in order to get into contact with Morgan & Morgan and in order to get the help that you need. Again, thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into the video. Because Russell Westbrook and James Harden did not just not win championships because of VORP and BPM. At the end of the day, basketball is extremely mental. Basketball also is, like most things in life, it comes down to a relentless work ethic. So when we consider the mental aspect of a young star's career, let's look at Steph Curry's rise. Because in Game 1 of the 2013 Western Conference semifinals against the dynasty San Antonio Spurs, the 6th-seeded Golden State Warriors found themselves with a lead at the half, and then a young Steph Curry went nuclear.
Bonner starting here, so now it's a 5-point game, and Curry hits again.
No, it's our job to overreact right there. It's Curry's job is to knock down the three.
Trailing by 15. And here is Curry hitting another three.
In this third quarter alone, Steph would drop 22 points on a group of Hall of Fame legends, showing that he was, importantly, not afraid of the moment. Unfortunately, what happened next is also important here. As up 16 points with 9 minutes to go.
Can't leave your feet and go up in the air or you probably will get that charge call.
3 on Curry, and there is Parker, and it's 106-103. Here is Green hitting. Ties the game.
Of course though, Steph was still Steph.
Diaw now defending Curry, goes right back and floats it in. Parker.
At this point in time, Steph Curry was not afraid of the moment. You can certainly say that about a lot of young players. The thing is though, both he and the Warriors were just not ready. And it was after Golden State would lose. It was 2 years later when Steph Curry won his first MVP and title. The reason being that Steph's relentless work ethic didn't keep him as a three-point shooter. We have seen Steph Curry's body control on the court. We've seen his almost strange looking workouts off of it. This is the type of work ethic that wins championships. Now on the flip side, for every LeBron and Steph Curry that succeeds at the highest level, we do have guys that drop off, and so I want you to fill in the blank here. Who do you think this player is? This is a real written past description of a young NBA star from Sports Illustrated. Quote, when he answered reporters' questions afterward, blank referred to the franchise as my team and deconstructed the game like a veteran. Barely a year after leading his college to an NCAA championship, the 19-year-old has gone from freshman hero to NBA franchise player. The answer is Carmelo Anthony, one of the NBA's biggest what-ifs. Because if we do look back in his career, at one point in time, Melo was the ultimate example of a winner. And he was right there with LeBron James, at least in everyone's eyes, in terms of talent. As in 2003, Carmelo Anthony led Syracuse to a national championship as the most outstanding player as a freshman. Then in 2004 in the NBA, he took the Nuggets to the playoffs and averaged a very, very comparable stat line, I will say, to the Rookie of the Year, LeBron James, whose Cavaliers only won 35 games and did not make the playoffs. At this point in time, after the season was over, with Melo winning a title and then immediately bringing Denver to the playoffs, a lot of people had Carmelo Anthony over LeBron James. That, of course, was not the case. They were wrong. And so what happened to Melo? What has happened to most of the guys like this that couldn't put it together fully to really become the highest level of player, a dependable championship star? Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Kobe, Bird, all of the greats added to their games relentlessly in order to not only first adjust to the NBA once they got there, but once they became great in the NBA, they continued to be relentless. They continued to work on their games no matter how much money they had made, no matter how much fame they had garnered, in order to start closing the door and winning titles. That winning championship relentless mindset is what truly carries a young star. And luckily for the Dallas Mavericks, I think that is exactly what we are watching in Luka Doncic. I think when we are watching Luka, we can see that non-stop improvement to his game, but what's more, we can see him truly figuring out how to win on the court. 9 and 10 doesn't matter right now. Luka is playing in different ways. He's playing with different teammates. What's important is that right in front of our eyes, we can see that Michael Jordan edge in him. The trash talk mentality is real. The don't mess with me mentality is real because Luka is mad. Luka's mad at himself because he wants to live up to his true potential. He knows how great he can be, and he wants to show the world that he really is the best. And the way to do that is, of course, to start winning MVPs and championships. And I will go on record and say, I believe the Dallas Mavericks are just figuring things out and that a corner will be turned soon. So there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Big things are coming, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications if they are not already turned on. And again, thank you guys for continuing to support. You truly are awesome. I hope you really know that. And as always, have a good day and cue the music finally again. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. I mean, personally, I think the one on the left might be more your style, but the one on the right looks pretty awesome too. Click one, let me know what you think. And again, have an awesome day.